There's a list, a long list, names of powerful people, billionaires, executives, influencers, decision makers. And when people see that list, their blood starts boiling. But let's slow down before we lose ourselves in outrage. Being on a list is not the same as being guilty. That distinction matters. Now, does it mean nothing? No. It means proximity. It means access. It means association. And when that association is tied to someone like Jeffrey Epstein, who was a convicted sex offender, people are right to ask questions. But questions are not convictions. What the released documents show are contacts, meetings, travel logs, correspondence, scheduling. That is serious, especially after 2008, because once someone has been convicted, continuing association raises ethical concerns. It raises moral questions. It raises judgment questions. But it does not automatically equal criminal activity. We have to separate emotion from evidence. Here's the deeper issue. The billionaire world is small. Ultra wealth operates in tight circles. Conferences, summits, private foundations, global events, donor networks, private aviation. These ecosystems overlap constantly. The higher you go, the smaller the circle becomes. When someone like Epstein gained entry into that circle, he didn't walk in randomly. He was introduced, he was vouched for, he was allowed access. That tells us something about Eastoms. It tells us about power networking with power. It tells us about influence, protecting influence. But it still does not prove individual guilt. And we must be disciplined enough to hold both truths at once. If someone committed a crime, let evidence prove it. Let investigators present it. Let indictments follow it. Let courts decide it. If someone only crossed paths socially or professionally, that is not proof of wrongdoing. We cannot replace due process with digital outrage. What this moment really reveals is something broader. It reveals how insulated the ultra-wealthy class can become. It reveals how access to power can continue even after serious red flags appear. It reveals how reputation management sometimes moves faster than moral accountability. That's a systemic issue, and systemic issues don't require conspiracy theories to be troubling. Exposure is not the same as judgment. Light does not scream. Light reveals. If files are being released, good. Transparency strengthens trust. If redactions were improper, they should be corrected. If crimes were committed, they should be prosecuted. If systems protected the wrong people, those systems should be reformed. But we cannot collapse everything into one emotional narrative. The danger right now is this: anger outrunning evidence. When anger outruns evidence, justice becomes spectacle. When spectacle replaces proof, truth gets buried again. And if we truly care about victims, about accountability, about integrity, then we have to demand more than viral outrage. We have to demand documentation. We have to demand facts. We have to demand real consequences based on real proof. This is not about burning everything down. It's about restoring trust. And trust is rebuilt carefully, not recklessly. So yes, ask questions. Yes, demand transparency. Yes, scrutinize power. But do not declare guilt without evidence. Do not confuse association with conviction. Do not let emotion outrun truth. Because justice built on evidence stands. Justice built on assumption collapses. And if we want a system that holds the powerful accountable, we must hold ourselves accountable to truth as well. So the question is not, is everyone on this list guilty? The real question is, what does proximity to power reveal? Because here's something people don't always see. Extreme wealth operates in networks. Not loose friendships. Networks. Conferences, summits, foundations, private advisory boards, philanthropic galas, investment clubs. The ultra-wealthy cross paths constantly. The same 200 or 300 people sit on overlapping boards, attend the same events, fund the same projects. That doesn't automatically mean criminal conspiracy. It means access, and access matters. When someone with a criminal record continues to have access to influential rooms, that raises a systemic issue. Who opened the door? Who vouched? Who overlooked red flags? Who decided reputation was more important than scrutiny? That is where accountability begins. But accountability must be evidence-based. If someone committed crimes, there will be victims, documentation, financial trails, forensic evidence, indictments. Courts exist for a reason. Due process exists for a reason. We can't abandon that standard just because the names are powerful. In fact, powerful names require higher standards, not lower ones. There's a temptation in moments like this to swing toward extremes, to say the whole system is evil, to say every billionaire is corrupt, to say nothing is real and everything is rigged. But broad claims weaken real cases. If 10 people are truly guilty, lumping them in with 90 who are not makes prosecution harder, not easier. Truth demands precision. Now let's talk about something deeper. Why does this story hit so hard? Because it touches a nerve about inequality. People see billionaires on lists and think, of course, the rich protect the rich. That narrative is powerful because wealth does buy insulation. It buys lawyers, it buys PR, it buys time, and time can bury scandals. So when documents surface years later, it feels like confirmation of suspicion. It feels like proof of something bigger. But feelings are not filings. This moment should push us toward transparency, not toward mob justice. It should push institutions to release records clearly, redact only what protects victims, and explain decisions openly. It should push media to verify before amplifying. It should push the public to read beyond headlines. Exposure is not the same as conviction, and association is not the same as participation. If crimes were committed, they must be prosecuted fully, no matter the wealth or status of the accused. That principle should apply universally. But if someone's only connection was attending the same event, exchanging emails, or being in the same social orbit, that alone is not a crime. We have to guard against a dangerous shortcut, guilt by association. History shows us how easily that shortcut can destroy innocent reputations. And once trust in facts collapses, real victims suffer most, because every accusation gets drowned in noise. So here's the balanced position. Demand transparency. Demand investigation. Demand accountability. But demand and evidence just as strongly. We can be skeptical without being reckless. We can be vigilant without being defamatory. We can question power without inventing conclusions. The larger issue this reveals is structural. Why are elite circles so closed? Why is wealth so interconnected? Why do reputations seem protected until pressure becomes overwhelming? Those are valid societal questions, but those questions deserve real answers, not viral speculation. Justice built on anger may trend. Justice built on evidence endures. And if we truly care about truth, we have to discipline ourselves in moments like this. Slow down. Verify. Separate documentation from interpretation. Separate facts from narratives layered on top of facts. Because once we abandon that discipline, we become part of the same chaos we claim to oppose. So yes, examine the list. Yes, scrutinize power. Yes, hold the wealthy to high standards. But do not confuse presence in a document with proof of crime. Do not confuse suspicion with sentence. If wrongdoing is there, let it be proven clearly and publicly. If it isn't, let integrity remain intact. Truth does not need exaggeration. It survives scrutiny. And in times like this, clarity is more powerful than fury.